When the Falcons signed Darnell Mooney, there were a lot of mixed reactions from the fans. Some people were happy, like me, because we had no receivers outside of Drake London. Other people saw it was an overpay, and quite frankly, I really didn't care what they thought. Anybody who watched Darnell Mooney knew that he was a good receiver. He just had inconsistent quarterback play. And in 2024, when we saw he had the slightest bit of competency at quarterback, even when Mike started, he looked like a good receiver because he is one. Darnell Mooney had to remind the league that he is just not some person that was just a one-year wonder. And we finna get into why he wasn't just a one-year wonder. Before we get into the breakdown, if you guys do enjoy this video, be sure to like and subscribe for more. I'll see y'all at training camp, but let's get into the video. One of the biggest factors in Darnell Mooney's reminder to the league and him being a good receiver is that he was a very explosive one. For most of the season, he was at the top of the league in plays of 20 or more yards. So the Falcons are running a play action concept where they have 8 guys in protection and they're going to have Drake London run a deep sit while Darnell Mooney runs a deep out route. He killed defenses with these routes. Darnell Mooney was only second to Jamar Chase in production from out routes. That's how good he was. Defensively, the Saints are playing cover 6 where you're playing cover 4 to the field and cover 2 to the boundary. A good way to attack the cover 4 side of this coverage is to have the number 2 receiver run a deep sit route or any kind of in-breaking route to get that safety's attention while you run the number 1 receiver on a skinny post, and he's going to attack that vacated space by the safety. And offenses know that at some point a safety has to account for that number 2 receiver based on how far he goes down the field. And it's really a team by team basis. So if you can figure out what landmark that safety is responsible for, then you can take advantage of it. And this is why football is so complex, because defenses know how they can get attacked, and so does Darnell Mooney. And we're going to look at how he runs his route. He's going to give this defense the bait. He's going to widen off the line towards the numbers to give this corner the illusion, I'm going to run this bang 8 and I'm going to score on you. But what he's doing, he's just widening him, set him up, and then he's going to attack him vertically to open his hips towards the inside. And once he does that, he's got him beat at the top of the route. So all you got to do is just break out and come down with the catch, and he got about 2 or 3 extra yards out of it. And even when the defense knows, like look at Alontae Taylor, he's outside leverage and he still loses the rep right here because Darnell Mooney's just that good. And being this nuance of a route runner is why he's also quarterback friendly. The Vikings are running cover 1 with the 5-man blitz, and they're showing this too high look to deceive Kirk Cousins. And on this play, Darnell Mooney is the alert receiver. And alert means the quarterback can abandon the original progression and just throw the alerted route if he likes the matchup or he likes the coverage given. And if I'm Kirk Cousins and I see man coverage, I'm throwing this route too. And if you pay attention, Darnell Mooney is aligned outside of the numbers, and I have to show y'all why this is important to this route. So if we bring up a regular football field in its dimensions, you can see that, as we said before, Darnell Mooney is outside of the numbers. If he were to run that fade route as it is, that would be a very tough throw for Kirk to make. That's why most practice fields have a line going between the numbers and the sideline, which we call the red line. It gives the receivers an idea on how to run their fade routes. That way you give the quarterback a bigger window to hit that throw and drop it in the bucket. Anytime you see a quarterback throw a fade ball and the ball goes out of bounds, that means the receiver did not run the route correctly. Either he got pinned to the sideline or he gave up the red line too early. So if we bring it back to this example that I'm showing y'all, we're going to see that when Darnell Mooney gets off the line, he's going to initially take an inside stem to even up with this corner because he's already playing inside leverage. And he does a good job by winning the route early by actually getting the corner to flip his hips, but the route is still not done. Either he can work to stack this receiver, as you can see by the green route, and Mooney does a great job by staying skinny with this corner and stacking him instead of widening and giving him a chance to recover on this route. And by staying skinny with that corner, it gave Kirk just a big enough window to hit him in the bucket with a safety ranging from over top. First and goal, Falcons. But Darnell Mooney was more than just a one-trick pony. On top of being able to win deep, he knew how to work underneath too. Here, the Falcons are in the low red zone. They're running this choice concept, which I was able to find from the old Falcons playbook back in 2016. And this is a good example of how nothing is truly new in the NFL because we've run this before. You've seen this before. And the Buccaneers, they're in cover 2, but it's a variation of cover 2. Some people call it a variation of quarters, but it's really just called 2-read or palms. And to put this in simplest terms, everything is predicated off of the number 2 receiver counting outside to in. If the number 2 receiver goes out, that would be the corner, and then the safety would take care of number 1 whichever way he goes. And this is where Darnell Mooney's IQ comes back into play because he's also running a choice route, mind you, and there's also a switch release going on between Ray and Darnell, so he knows that he's a new number 2 receiver, and he knows the apex defender is at a disadvantage on anything outbreaking. And this play goes to show you that not only Darnell Mooney was a good route runner, but there is an illusion of rules when it comes to defenses because it should have been accounted for, but instead Darnell Mooney gets a touchdown out of it because of a simple switch release. And if we fast forward to after the bye week against the Vikings, we're going to to be running the same play essentially against the same coverage with just a few minor tweaks to it. But you'll see, even against essentially the same coverage, it's going to be the same outcome, which is a catch and a run, but only he didn't score this time because we're further out from the end zone. I'm honestly really excited to see what Darnell Mooney does in his second season with the Falcons, because in my opinion, he should have had that 1,000 yards. Raheem Morris should have said, hey man, you got to suit up and get at least one catch, bro. You got to get this 1K. But it's good that we finally have a second receiver to carry the load along with Drake London. And with the coaching staff saying he'll take on a bigger role next year, I wonder what that's going to look like, because he excelled perfectly in his, but I can only speculate that he's just going to do more of what he did. But anyways, y'all, that's all from me. If you guys did enjoy this video, be sure to subscribe for more, and I'll see you guys later in the next video. Goodbye.